Coming up in this video, we will be looking at butterflies in Aruba, a walking tour of Curacao, and an ocean cabana in Amber Cove, all with my wheelchair. Welcome to My Adventures with MS, or Multiple Sclerosis. In April of 2024, my family and I went on a Southern Caribbean cruise on the Carnival Horizon. We visited Aruba, Curacao, La Romana, and Amber Cove. We booked this cruise as I really wanted to see Curacao. I use a wheelchair full-time as multiple sclerosis has taken away my ability to walk. We booked an accessible balcony cabin for me and my husband, and an inside cabin for our kids. I say kids, but they're all in their 20s. After 2 sea days, during which we attended a lot of trivia, and we won the coveted Ship on a Stick, and we enjoyed watching the ocean, we arrived in Aruba. While the kids went snorkeling, my husband and I visited the Butterfly Farm. The farm is wheelchair accessible and about a 10-minute drive from the cruise port. We decided to take a taxi. I am fortunate that I can stand and transfer onto an SUV with help. We were able to get an SUV taxi that could fit my wheelchair folded up in the trunk. At the butterfly farm, a blue butterfly landed in the sand just in front of me. As I didn't want to run it over, I stopped to wait for it. While waiting, I took some pictures and video of this butterfly. Once it flew off, I started to move my wheelchair. But because I had stopped in the sand, when I tried to move my wheelchair, the wheels just dug a hole in the sand. I needed my husband's help to get unstuck and to move on throughout the farm to see more butterflies. I greatly enjoyed seeing all the butterflies and learning how the farm supports the life cycle of the butterflies. After the butterfly farm, we walked to Eagle Beach. It was probably about a 20 to 30 minute walk or roll, but I didn't pay much attention to the time as I was enjoying the walk. We found a pathway that followed the coastline and enjoyed the scenery and the sun. We also learned that Aruba is very windy. Once at Eagle Beach, I parked myself under a tree near the parking lot. As we know, my wheelchair doesn't handle the sand very well. Knowing that the ship was not leaving until late that evening, I spent some time in the shade reading my book. My husband spent some time wandering the beach and swimming in the ocean. Most evenings had a show or performance in the Liquid Lounge, which is the main auditorium. Note, there are no spaces designated for wheelchairs. There are designated seats for those who use a cane, walker, or can get out of their scooter. But for those of us who are in our wheelchair 100% of the time, there is no dedicated space for us anywhere in any of the venues. While I found space to park my wheelchair to watch the show, It felt like I was in the middle of traffic, constantly in the way of other people trying to find their seats. The Carnival Horizon has smart elevators. You tell it which floor you want to go to, and it tells you which elevator to wait for. As a wheelchair user, my only comment on this system is that the following is the most frustrating thing to hear, especially for 20 minutes straight while you're trying to get to a meal.
Floor 1 through 11. Please press again when you hear your destination. 11, 10. Unable to allocate car at this time.
The next day was Curacao. This was the port that I'd really wanted to visit and why we booked this trip. After a lot of research into what we could do in Williamstad, I decided to book a walking tour of the city. I booked it many months in advance, and I booked with Free Walking Tours Curacao. And yes, I told them I would be in a wheelchair. The walking tour was amazing. I loved the colorful buildings on both sides of the water. We spent the first part of the tour in the Otrabenda side. I hope that's how you pronounce it. This is the side where the cruise port docks. Our guide covered the history of the island during the tour. My favorite stop was the Lionfish restaurant, called Lionfish Caribbean. There was no ramp into the restaurant, so I stayed outside in the shade of an umbrella. The presenter moved to the open door so that I could see and hear all about the lionfish. It turns out lionfish are an invasive species, which eat the local reef fish near Curacao. I was amazed at how these people hunt the lionfish and use almost all of the parts of the fish, whether it's in their restaurant or making some jewelry. After a few more sights, including a bar where I received help over a step to get in to see inside of it, we crossed the floating bridge and visited the Punda side of Williamstad. This is a side which has been known for their colorful buildings and shows up in most of the pictures we see of Curacao. The tour ended at the top of a 4-story building, which was one of the tallest buildings in Williamstad. The roof of this hotel is open to the public, and the hotel has an elevator as well as stairs. The roof has a bar and a swimming pool, as well as nice seating. This was our tour guide. The cost of our tour was purely up to our discretion as to how much we wanted to tip our guide. The tour was fantastic, and I highly recommend it. We then headed back across the floating bridge and back to the ship. It was a hot day, and I was exhausted and felt like I was melting. I was very much looking forward to air conditioning. As my husband and I headed back to the ship after the tour, my daughter and her boyfriend ate at the Lionfish restaurant. They had a great meal and highly recommend it. Curacao is definitely a place I want to visit again. Our next port of call was La Romana. As I just had 2 full days of exploring, I decided I would have an easy day and stayed on the ship. I read my book and played some trivia. My husband spent some time in the port area at the pool. I did take pictures of the port area from the ship. Our last port of call was Amber Cove, where I rented an ocean cabana for all 6 of us. The path to and from the cabana was flat and easy to get to with my wheelchair.
In the cabana, we have a nice fan going on. It comes with a couch, a chair, a table with all of our junk on it. Also has another little table, TV, and there's Coke, Sprite, 7-Up, some chocolate bars, more Coke, and obviously water. Okay, and then in here we have 2 chaise lounge. One there and one there. You can flatten them. You can make them into little chairs. It's great. The patio porch thing out there is obviously nicely in the sun in the middle of the afternoon. There's some misters up there. You can't really see because they mist and go sideways. And over here where I would not go down, there are some steps to a water platform down there. And there's the ladder to get in and out of the water.
My family and I had a fabulous time with the cabana. We enjoyed the snacks, swimming in the ocean, using the paddleboards, and having the cabana as a base while ziplining and using the pool. I was grateful to have some shade while enjoying the view and watching whatever activities my family was up to. For a full tour and review of the Ocean Cabana, please watch the other video on my channel concerning Amber Cove Overwater Cabana's experience with a wheelchair. I will link it at the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it helped you get some ideas for visiting these Southern Caribbean islands, especially if you are traveling with a wheelchair. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. Thanks for watching.